Alright guys, so I'm pretty excited for this lecture. We're going to be diving head deep into sales, automating the whole sales process, and I'm going to show you a real life business use case. So we're going to start off at the sales funnel. So the sales funnel will be currently how I'm getting leads is that I'm creating organic posts, videos like this one, articles, infographics, all of the different social media posts. The top of the funnel over here, where we go from the rented audience right down to my own audience, which is in my email list, and my email list sends them an email sequence. That email sequence warms them up until they're ready to buy. If they don't buy within the 5-day email sequence, they get onto my daily email sequence, which I'm currently sending out as a newsletter to showcase some real value, to say this is what I'm building, get them excited about all of the possibilities of automating things with technology and N8N and AI. So that's just the high level over here. From there, we go find themselves in getting nurtured and warmed up, and then until eventually they become customers. So now, how do we go about automating this whole process? Because I mean, social media is one thing. There's another method called cold outreach. How I would do it initially was I would go onto LinkedIn Sales Navigator, click on all of the leads that I think would fit my profile, after doing my research and getting my ICP, ideal customer profile, I would then go and individually click on each one to connect, or I would go to each profile, go and see if they posted anything, comment on their post, and build a relationship. And that's a long manual process. I prefer to do more creative stuff rather than repetitive stuff. And some people do this. They go on LinkedIn Sales Navigator, they do it the manual way, which is quite cumbersome in my opinion. And I thought, there must be a better way to automate this entire process. And how do we go about doing that? So I stumbled across outreach, and a lot of people are doing this via N8N and some other services, which I'll dive into in just a bit. So initially, it starts off with defining your ideal target audience. So that's the first step. So once you know more or less who you're targeting, for me, I'm looking for more B2B corporate clients that are looking to automate certain laborious and repetitive business processes. So that's my ICP. So I could just use that, or we go to step 2, which is we can do a deep research to find our target audience. And this is based on trends, news, and a whole bunch of other factors, as well as integrating my corporate identity, which will feed into the deep research. Based on all of this, we're going to do the research in the next lecture and find a profile that we can then go into the next stage, which is automated lead scraping with Apollo and Apify. So in this stage, you can either fill out the form, or put it in a chat, or whatever process that you want. That goes into the Apollo URL generated. So it generates a URL. It goes into Apify, which we'll talk about in future lectures. And then finally, we pass the data back into our database. This can be Google Sheets. I prefer to use Superbase, which I'll show you at the later stage. And then we got our leads. Simple as that. Now, that brings us to the lead enrichment stage. So you can just stop there and say, call it Dave, say Paul's my uncle, whatever. You can now go a step further, and there's a secret framework that I teach in my course, and we'll go through this in the corporate automation library, where if you want to improve your conversion rate, the best way to do that is via personalized message. And you can go very bespoke on this. If you do the proper research on that person, you can get the competitors, you can get their pain points, you can get personal details about them, you can go very deep on that particular client. And if you've got all of this data, you can use it as ammo to essentially send them a personal message that speaks to them and more personalized, to show that you put in the effort to want to reach out to them. And LinkedIn, for example, an email, it's a place for business, especially if they have a business email. So they're expecting to see, I have a problem, or maybe you make them aware that they have a problem. If you do, then, you've won the game, and now it's just about fulfilling that problem. So for me, I'll show you the secret frameworks that I have here in my Notion. There's many different frameworks on how to do cold personalized outreach. There's the Beck Holland method. There's a Jason Bay method. I've got a ton of others. But the main thing is that we need to get these placeholders, and you'll find that in the link down below. So if you want this list, comment down AI automation down below, and I'll send it right to you. And then we get to the stage where we need to do cold outreach. This is the main outreach part. Now, you can do it via N8N, but I think Instantly and Smart Lead have a really great package or platform that you can use for outreach, because number one, you're going to need to have multiple different email domains, and you're going to need to warm up those domains, which Instantly already does for you. They do enrichment, but I'm not sure as to what effect and to what extent they do the enrichment for you. So they can send personalized emails, and they can have ChatGPT using your own API to be able to enrich the data. But I prefer to have a little bit extra to enrich your lead list beyond the capabilities of what Instantly and Smart Lead can do. I'm giving you that option to have the best data that you can, the best ammo in your arsenal for converting those leads. So that's what we're going to be doing here. We're going to be sending, after we scrape around 50,000 leads, you don't have to scrape all 50,000 leads. You can just do it in 500 segments. You can have different personas based on what your ICP is. You might have multiple ICPs, and Instantly costs around $47 per month. Smart Lead is around $39 per month. I'm in no way affiliated with these guys, but this is just what I'm going to be using in the upcoming lectures. And yeah, you'll be sending 30 to 35 personalized emails per day. If you have multiple domains, you could probably send more, but if you can send these over a few days, then you can start getting some leads. For me, if I need to break even, I need to make 2 sales. So at $47 per month times 2, that would help me break even, because I'm paying Appify another 30 something dollars per month, plus Instantly $47 per month. So I need to make 3 sales in order to break even. And if I can make more, then I just make a lack of profit. So over here, this is just the back end of my sales funnel. I use Giru to create this whole simulation, and Giru is quite amazing. I essentially bought it on a once-off sale, so I have unlimited access to it. I'm not sure if they still have that sale right now, but anyways, so yeah, this sort of gives you a calculator to say, if I get X amount of leads from social media and obviously cold outreach, and if I get this many leads and 40% convert, then they go into my email sequence. If they say no, then on and on until they eventually go into my corporate automation library and they convert at 2%. I could potentially make around $423 per month, and then we take them to the success page. That's excluding any upsells, downsells, cross, you name it, according to Alex Hormozzi's Money Models book. So I'm using Kajabi as my main driver. You might have your own CRM and email messaging platform or ClickFunnels, whatever you want. So yeah, that summarizes the entire workflow, where we spoke about everything from going from doing your research to scraping the leads, around 50,000 leads, enriching those leads, and eventually doing automated personalized outreach with these different platforms. I'll see you in the next lecture, where we'll talk about how to do your deep research to refine your target audience. So if you didn't see the video, go to the next video right over here.